everybody to the 7th episode of the SenoTalk. Today I have invited our sales manager Harsha into the studio again, and we will continue to talk about the SenoLab. This time we will focus on the use cases. So let's see whether he's in the studio yet. Hi Harsha, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Valerie. And I hope you are as well. And I'm very glad for this talk because it's been a while since we did our last.
It has been indeed a little while. So thanks for joining us again today. I'm wondering if we should jump right in to the first question. So maybe you could say a little bit more about the use cases in general. So what's currently possible with the SenoLab?
As you know, we are focused on textile applications. Our yarn use case is very popular with our customers. We are concentrated on identification, differentiation, and quantification of cotton polyester. Our customers use this for quality control in the production floor and incoming goods inspection of blended yarns, and also to determine the right dye based on the material composition. As a result of this, they're able to save a lot of resources. And to give you a complete overview of all our use case, it's very challenging because our applications are very broad. We can do from monitoring plant health until determining counterfeit in textiles. So the applications are very broad. In fact, recently we started a project with a third party to determine whether our technology can analyze the components of medical cannabis.
The cannabis use case sounds really interesting. I'm quite looking forward to see the results of the study. We will have to make sure as well to share some more information in a later episode of the SenoTalk. Now that you have mentioned that, I'm sure a lot of our followers will be interested in seeing where this is going to go. For now, let's talk a little bit more about the yarn use case. Could you maybe talk a little bit about how exactly it would benefit customers if they were to use them, and why exactly the differentiation between cotton and polyester is so important for yarn manufacturers?
That's a wonderful question. So if we take yarn manufacturers, for example, or the companies that buy yarns, so there will be two different use cases. So let's say yarn manufacturers. So if they have to determine the yarn composition, they have to do a chemical analysis which takes them like few hours if they have a lab, or if they send it to an external lab, they require at least like few days to few weeks. We cut it down with our non-destructive test without using any chemicals for few seconds. So this is a huge advantage for them. The similar application also replicates to the companies that buy yarns who want to do incoming goods inspection for the yarns. So they can apply the same process as well.
Okay. And what about other components? Would we be able to detect other fibers in yarn as well? Or can we only detect cotton and polyester as yarn compositions?
Polyester and cotton are the most commonly used materials for yarn manufacturing. So it's important to know the composition of raw material and the final product. We can indeed identify and quantify other components as well. However, we are finalizing those applications. That means these applications are not available for our customers to use yet. But the applications that will be released soon can be used to differentiate and quantify wool acryl and cotton viscose.
Awesome, Harsha. Thanks so much for explaining the yarn use case in so much detail. This actually brings us to our last question, which is my favorite question, and I ask it every guest of mine gets asked the same question. So what is your personal favorite use case?
My favorite use case is counterfeit detection, because counterfeits are a huge problem in the market, and it is great to address with our technology.
Well, I agree with you. That would be a great use case indeed. Just like Sunnies, I think it would benefit many people worldwide. And with that, we're actually in the end of our episode, Harsha. Thank you so much for joining. It was very insightful to talk to you, and hopefully we will get a chance to do this again. Have a good day, and thank you so much.
Thanks again for having me, Valerie. Have a nice day.
And thanks also for everyone who has watched this episode of the SenoTalk. Make sure to check the section just below the video so you can see some further information, links to blog articles and such. And if you have any other questions, make sure to send us an email to inquiry@senorics.com. Subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss the next episode. And I'm looking forward to be seeing you next time. Bye.